FPL managers for blank week game 34. If you want to climb the ranks, this video is for you, as I'm going to be giving you the best free hit team for your game week 34. So as I said, game week 34 is here. We had a very interesting game week 33. That was a double game week. We had some good returns from some players from game week 33. So the highest was 177. So this manager had almost all the top performers for game week 33. Some players from Brighton performed, some from City performed, and all in all, it was a good game week. If you didn't get enough points that you'd wanted, this game week is here, and we are here to give you some very good tips that could help you climb the ranks. So let's get into it. Before we do, I would like you to kindly hit that subscribe button, support the channel, let's grow together. So let's see how the fixtures are going to be looking for game week 34. It's going to be a very short game week. Actually, we are going to have some teams blanking. So we will have some teams like Manchester City blanking. We'll have another team like Chelsea blanking because of the FA Cup and all. So you'd want to take note of that. So we are starting on Friday. We have Sunderland, they take on Nottingham Forest. It's going to be a very interesting match. And on Saturday, we have Fulham against Aston Villa, then Liverpool, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Everton. We have Wolves, Spurs. So all you should know that Burnley have been relegated following their loss to City. They've been relegated from the EPL. We still have some teams in the mix trying to fight out their way. Spurs being one of those teams. They take on Wolves that are also struggling in the relegation zone. So it's going to be a very interesting match there. We have Arsenal taking on Newcastle. So following City's win over Burnley, we have City on top of the table now just by goal difference or head to head. So I think goal difference the same, points the same, but head to head, City on top. So let's see how it's going to go for Arsenal as they take on Newcastle and how the rest of the season is going to look like. Then on Monday, it ends with Manchester United. They take on Brentford. So we see how that goes as well. So that's how it's looking for the fixtures. We will look at some player stats to see how it's looking. So for the most transferred in for the game week, we have Watkins, as they've begun a very good run again. So it looks like getting to the end, they've picked up some very good points. Watkins in very good form over the past few game weeks. That's why I'm quite skeptical about Watkins, because they have some European fixtures coming up, so you want to be very cautious about that, as we want to rest players, prevent injuries, and also want to manage minutes and all that. So we have Morgan, Gibbs-White, we have Bowen, we have Rogers, we have Thiago, Virgil, Mukiele, we have Bruno Fernandes. I'm wondering what Jackie is doing in the mix, because they have a blank fixture, but all in all, let's see how that goes. We have Cunha, we have Gabriel, we have Tarkowski, Xavi Simons from Spurs, and some few other players. So you want to look at that. As I said, some teams are blanking, so you want to consider all of that when it comes to your team selection. So that's how it's looking for the player stats. You want to know who you are bringing in, who you'd be considering for the game week. So for my game, for my team review, I used my triple captain. That was game week 33. I got some good returns from Haaland. For game week 34, I'm going to be using my free hits, going to diversify my team a bit, change almost everyone with my free hits. Then after that, I'm contemplating using my wildcard to set my team for at least the next 3 to 4 game weeks, as that is going to be the end of the season. Then I use my bench boost in there to see how far it goes. So for my team review, this is how my team is looking with the free hits. I have some players on the bench, so it's a new team. My main 11, I'm playing a 4-5-1. Very interesting this game week. So this is how my team is looking. I have some options on the bench. just in case a player doesn't start, I know I'm still sorted from the bench. So that's how it's looking for me from the bench. And there's my starting 11. Captaincy choice, I'm going with Harry Wilson, as they are taking on Aston Villa. Fulham are playing at home, and they've proven themselves to be quite difficult to play against when they play at home. So hence my decision to give my captaincy to Wilson. So if you also want to consider some captaincy choices, you would want to consider Bowen, as he's on penalty duties and some other set pieces. So that could be a plus for you as they take on Everton. It's going to be a plus for you if you want. So you could also consider Pedro Porro as they take on Wolves. You expect Tottenham Hotspurs to press, and once Tottenham are pressing, you expect Porro in the mix, so you could get a good assist, so you could use him as a differential captain. So for my main captaincy choices, I'm going with Harry Wilson and of course Bruno Fernandes as they take on Brentford at home. So that is my selection for the main captaincy. And if you want differentials, you should be looking at Pedro Porro, and you could also look at Watkins. I'm not too certain about Watkins, but that's what I'm using. I'm putting him for differential. So differentials would have Wilson and Watkins. Main would be looking at, for differential we'll have Porro and Watkins, then for main we have Bruno and Harry Wilson. So this is my team this is going to be one of the best teams for blank game week 34. You should note that, get some few players from here, and you should be good to go. I hope for greens for all. Kindly subscribe, like. We are out.